Good evening. My name is Noah, and I am trying to educate myself about the world by watching documentaries. And the first one that I have watched is called Made You Look, the true story about fake art. The documentary is about the largest art fraud in American history, and so to commemorate that, I wore my pirate shirt. Arg, stealing things. But there was no stealing that went on in this story, only lies. Lies between Anne Friedman, the main character in the story, who is the art dealer for the Knoedler Gallery, who sold these pieces, and the person that she bought them from, the supplier, Rosales. And there are some other characters surrounding this as well. But altogether, there were over 60 pieces of fake art sold, and it amounted to about $80 million. By watching this little documentary, I learned a few things about the world. First of all, I learned the details about the process of dealing art. When I think of art, I think of some of the famous paintings that we all know of, but obviously, at some point, you're going to come across a new painting, and that painting has to get verified that it is real. And so there are all sorts of processes and systems in place to verify this painting. You can show it to scholars of that artist if it's a previously established artist. You can get it tested in a lab using chemicals and special methods. You can take it to the International Foundation of Art Research and have them look at it with their people. All sorts of ways to make sure that things are on the up and up and that no one's trying to forge. And if you are trying to forge, you try to think of ways that you can get past this by making sure that you age the material correctly or that you use the right paint, which in this case they did not, and that was one of the ways they got caught. But what I also learned is that sometimes people maybe let themselves be fooled a little bit too. If you are an art dealer and you find a new painting, that is a big deal, and that can be a game changer for your career. Anne Friedman was in a place where she could use this push to further her career as an art dealer. And the documentary kind of makes it unclear about whether she was in on it or whether she was just completely innocent. She claims that she was, and it's kind of left up to your own interpretation. But the art does look pretty good. All these different people in the documentary are saying these paintings do look good, which very much brings me to the last thing that I learned. I thought this documentary did a good job of just highlighting sort of what the art business values and how it seems to value more of what's beyond the canvas than what's on the canvas itself. Because you hear these people talking about there was a couple in the story who bought one of these paintings and they love the painting. A lot of the people in this documentary talked about how these paintings looked great. They were very professionally done. But then once you find out that you don't have a painting by the artist you thought you had, then you want to sue someone. And then you hate the painting that you have. You want to get rid of it. And I just think that's so very interesting because nothing on the painting itself has changed. It's only changed who you think it's by. And so it's really just a question of, do you actually like the art for what the art is or just by who the artist is? But I guess if you're paying millions of dollars for a painting, what you're really paying for is the painter, who the painter is, that name recognition. I just think that's interesting. But anyway, very good documentary. You can find it on Netflix. 8 out of 10. Very interesting.